Welcome in for the live, friends. Thanks for being here. There's a lot to do, and there's usually something I forget. But I think I'm past that here. Watch or keep an eye on the chat. Here it is. It just pulled up. Okay. Doesn't look like it's. I've been worried it's a little stormy out today here, and sometimes that impacts my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is really being put to the test lately, and even my 5G data service, because there's an osprey nest across the river nesting on the main tower that my tech connects to. And look, it looks like it's okay. It doesn't look like it's gonna not. Okay, guys, I'm here. I hope you're still here. Saying it's going all right now, but I'm not going to be able to monitor the chat with my tablet, weakening the signal. So I'm going to try this again. And if I lose connection once again, then my plan is going to be to just do this reading as an upload. So watch for it as a premiering upload versus a live stream, because I want to continue the reading that I picked up on starting last night. So anyways, let me get seated here and start again. Hopefully we can make this work, and I won't be able to watch the chat, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to, in fact, I'm gonna X out of that so that I don't run the risk of continuing to not be able to stream. So I won't be able to talk to you, and also I won't probably be able to do any personal readings at the end for people like I have been, because I just want to go ahead and get this reading done. So anyways, yeah, sorry, that was a little glitchy in the beginning. I'm here. It looks like it's streaming okay now. So what I was trying to say is that I pulled cards for this live stream last night, and what came through is a masculine who is being impacted by an entity attachment that's draining his energy and causing him confusion and lack of clarity, disruption. Thank you for being here. I can see in the distance that, it looks like my microphone's not plugged in. I can see that someone's here though, so thank you for being here. Let me get this microphone plugged in. And I was just saying, for people just chiming in, I'm not going to be able to watch the chat today. So I won't be able to answer any questions because it's impacting my feed too much to have a second piece of tech running. It's weakening my signal too much. So this is a masculine that has some kind of an entity attachment that I feel like was attached to him via spell work in some way, and it's making him confused and lacking clarity and sullen. Like, it's just messing with him. It's messing with his energy. And so there, in the layout, which there's a picture of the layout, I posted it on the community tab. I did the layout last night just as a preliminary to try to see, what wanted to come through. And that's what it was. And so I just figured we would delve more deeply into that tonight and see what's causing it, what's going on for him, why there was something about true love and maybe some envy, because also the energy that came through about this masculine was that he's super charismatic, really attractive, and that might be part of what attracted evil eye to him, or he's trying to pursue a new relationship and somebody doesn't want that to happen. Those were just sort of some inklings that I had, but we're going to get into it and see what exactly is the story for this masculine. And like I said, I apologize that I won't be able to interact with you in the chat like I've been doing. On nicer days, it doesn't seem to be an issue, but on a stormy day like today, trying to have my other tablet open just was messing with the feed too much. Check out the thistle and cauldron work I just did. It's a video uploaded to the main videos. It's on the Timeless Videos playlist and also the Kitchen Magic playlist and the Obsidian Mirror podcast. So it came out really well. Just some lore about the thistle plant, some trance and divination messages that came through. Really interesting. So what do we need to know about this masculine? What's the story for him? Yeah, I mean, what's going on for him? Hopefully this message reaches him or reaches someone that knows him and he can take steps to protect himself. Accept heartbreak. Let go of your timeline. Guard your inner vein of gold. So there may be someone impacting this entity. I think is impacting this masculine's moods. It's creating feeling of heartbreak and pain. It's having him sort of in this sullen, like depressed, melancholic state. He's having trouble with flow, feeling out of sync and out of sorts, not understanding what timeline he's even on really, and he's really needing to guard his energy. That's clear. And in fact, it's interesting, I didn't mention this in the thistle reading from earlier, but thistle can be used both in baneful and in protective and good and helpful magic. And one of the uses of it in Europe was to hold a thistle blossom in your hand. Imagine someone, this is baneful magic, bring that person into your mind and imagine taking their energy. And it's a way to like harvest their energy to empower yourself. And that's kind of what we were tapping into for this masculine. So this entity that's attached to him is giving him and it's causing him confusion. And this, if none of this is, if you're like, huh, this isn't your reading, right? But it's a lot of times readings like this are really entertaining and interesting to listen to, even if they're not your reading. So this is what we're picking up on for this masculine. And my goal is to try to help this masculine. Like, I hope that he's watching or that he eventually comes across this. It's a timeless reading. He feels out of flow. He can't tell the right like timing in his life. He feels kind of stuck in this melancholic state, really sad, down, low energy. He really needs to guard his energy. So thistle can be used, right, to break that kind of work. It can be used, I did in the divination work I did for the reading earlier, there was a decoction of thistle. A decoction is like a slow steeping of a plant in water. And it was a decoction of the thistle that I harvested today. And then I poured that into my bath. And that's highly protective and cleansing as a bath, as probably as powerful or even more powerful if you have Epsom salt to add to it, right? You can take a salt bath with a thistle decoction water and it can really cleanse your energy. So this masculine would really benefit from doing something like that. And that's just one example. Smudging. I kind of am having the feeling though that this entity, whoever did this to this person, what I'm kind of feeling is that they know what they're doing. So it's not just something that was done by someone experimenting. I feel like either they paid, this is just all an impression, they either paid someone to do this to this masculine or they know a lot themselves and effectively created an attachment on him that's draining his energy. What else? What else? We're going to get into like who... The Citizen, this is weird. This reading came up before. Leon, the citizen. It's a modern rose. The companion. That's an old garden rose from Provence. So we've got 2 French roses here, so that might have meaning to someone. A companion and a citizen. So that's interesting. There might be love involved, and we suspected that it might be to break up a love relationship. So now let's get into the Kipperish and find out more about what's the situation. Either who did this to this masculine, or what else do we need to know about this entity attachment to him? What do we need to know? Looks like the live feed's still going. Okay. What do we need to know? Chakra system on the split in the upright. So a chakra, a full, you can find anything like that on YouTube, right? Just either meditative chants, Tibetan chants, singing bowls, things that will work through your entire chakra system and cleanse them out. And you can play them. They're like 8 to 10 hours long. Some of them you can play it all night when you sleep. That might be something wise for him to do. Somebody in their south node is doing this to this masculine. Somebody dark. I suspected it was someone envious or jealous of this masculine's charisma and vitality and energy. Maybe among other things. Voodoo, here it is. They used voodoo to attach this entity to this masculine. So it's someone that knows what they're doing, or else they paid a practitioner, right? Awakening. And I was talking about awakening in the Thistle divination upload that I did today, and it was lightning is associated with Thistle, and sometimes a spiritual awakening or download experience like this person is having isn't even felt in Kundalini like in the root. It's felt like a lightning bolt shooting through your crown. That's what it looks like. Node person's desire is to keep this masculine stuck. Ancestors in the upright. I think they're involved in this reading coming forward. I think what I'm feeling from this card is that they want to be of help, and this reading is one way that they're trying to reach this masculine to help him know that that's why he's feeling off, that's why he's feeling so out of sorts and depressed and confused and like lacking hope and having a lot of doubt. This is his ancestors trying to help him, is what I'm feeling from this card in the upright. You can't, confusion, illusion, okay, bit of a list. False narrative. They might be doing like feeding lies to this one, so it's someone in his life, because this is in the reverse. Yeah, single, sexy, and successful. They're not. This is someone who's envious of this masculine. I don't know. They don't like this masculine's charisma and energy, or they like it and are harvesting it, right, by attaching that entity to him. This masculine is a starseed. It's a third-party situation. So there's jealousy and envy over the masculine. There's also potentially jealousy over the fact that this masculine is trying to be in a relationship with someone and they don't want it. there was a conflict involved. The conflict doesn't seem to be currently in play, but it might be what first aggravated this person. Some type of, yeah, love spell. This person's doing all kinds of workings against this masculine. It feels like a third party feminine, but it could also be a jealous masculine, right? That doesn't want, I don't know. It's not really answering who it is. It's kind of more laying out what happened. I mean, it is saying it's a third party, and it's someone that of this masculine's vitality and charisma and energy. It's someone that really hates his popularity. It's so interesting. But I mean, that's it. I mean, there's haters of all, it takes all kinds in hater land, right? This masculine's going through a spiritual awakening. He might suspect that someone, it's funny, this is coming through. He might suspect that someone's doing this, but for him, that's like kind of new. It's a new way for him to be thinking. So he's kind of like, could that, and I really identify for what it's worth, because going through my own process like that, when someone was practicing magic against me, I didn't believe it for a long time, even though on a deeper intuitive level, I knew that's what was happening. I had clues and awareness of it right away. But because I was more of the Western mindset, right? Like I was still spiritual and meditative. This is like a confirmation. Okay? The ancestors are present in his life, trying to help him see that he can trust that this is what's actually happening. And what would it hurt him to go ahead and do some protective practices, right? If he doesn't, in this world himself, he can go pay someone to help him have a protective amulet or a protection spell over him or something, right? It doesn't, but this is protective in itself, right? This thistle energy that we've been kind of channeling today. So I'm going to do a tarot layout now, and and before I do that, though, maybe let me pull some Lenormand and just see if there isn't, like, what happened that attracted this person's ire and made them start attacking this masculine? Why are they attacking him? What were these Rose Oracle cards again? It was the Citizen and the Companion and a third-party situation. So there might be some jealousy and love, some hatred of this masculine swag for whatever reason. Yeah, they're trying to make him miserable. It just keeps coming out and sick. God, I feel for this guy. This is no joke. They don't like his success. It's just like coming out in repeat. They don't like his charismatic. He's like a starseed, right? The masculine's very magnetic, okay? And someone is really jealous of that and hating that. And hating maybe that this masculine is taking this light and this magnetism and going somewhere else with it, right? And so they're like, no, I don't think so. I'm going to attach an entity to him that keeps him stuck and that keeps him confused and unhappy. That's really messed up. Whoever's doing that, wow, okay, like, heal, please. My God, that's fucking toxic. Yeah, it's over this, God, I just channeled it and I was right. It's over this masculine shifting his affection towards someone else. And it's like, not only is this person jealous of that, it's like it's brought to the surface all of the personal envy they also feel for the masculine. It's not just that they're jealous that this masculine is now going to go be with someone else. It's that they're jealous of his charisma and his magnetism. It just is what it is. This person doesn't have it like he does. And the person that was someone that he was with, and they don't like it that he's taking that swag somewhere else, straight up. I mean, that's what's going on here. It's an ex of his. So now I'm just going to do a Celtic cross layout. I'm so bummed that I can't do the chat. I really have, that's been a really fun part of doing these lives is the chat, but it's only because it's a stormy night. So it's okay. It'll be back online once it's a little bit better weather again. Maybe I will see though if I can, if someone has a question they want to ask, you can always put it in the chat. And before I leave, I can go up to the phone there and scroll into it and see the question, you know, if there's a good one before I log off the live. Yeah, it's a feminine. She might be an earth sign, but she doesn't have to be. It's a queen in reverse. And she's very ungrounded. She's unstable. This is someone who's not grounded. Okay, they're just not in their right mind, and they want to cause conflict and bring conflict to this masculine's life. That's what's going on. Yeah, and they hired or worked with a dark priest to do it in a maybe a diasporic tradition like voodoo. I mean, the voodoo card came out. So they're trying to keep him confused, keep him stuck, keep him depressed. This, though, is what's come out. It's a of him because he's charismatic, he has swag, because people, this ex doesn't have that quality to her is what's coming through. And it's like a way deeper resentment that has been in her and probably was with them even in their relationship when they were together. It's disturbing kind of because, you know, whatever, people are human. I'm not saying that, you know, I haven't ever felt envy towards someone charismatic, right? Like that's not what I'm getting at, but to, okay, I don't need to say anymore really. To go to these lengths is sick. It's very unstable. This person is unstable. In the near future is a justice. There's going to be some kind of justice taking place here, and a balancing out of this dark working. But this masculine needs to protect himself. He's receiving messaging from his ancestors and from his own spiritual awakening that he's going through that he suspects this already. I really hope this reaches him. He's in a new beginning energy, but the Fool energy is the energy that he's in, which is a really beautiful, hopeful, optimistic energy. So it shows me that he has access to this energy, but he's also naive, which is partly maybe why he keeps falling under this illusion, because he's not knowing yet that this is what's going on. But this is a very lovely and beautiful quality of energy to carry about you, this optimistic, ready for a new life. That's where keeps trying to head, and why this person keeps trying to do the working against him. Sorry, I feel like that didn't come out very very well. I'm having trouble capturing the energy in words a little bit. I feel like I think this is the Eight of Swords. Oh no, my God, I was way off. The Two of Wands. So the energy coming towards him is a new opportunity. He just needs to protect himself. He really needs to protect his resources right now and his energy from this working. Yeah, he's moving towards happiness. This person's work isn't going to succeed, but he needs to protect himself. And I'm going to ask that now. How does he do that? What is going to be the best way for him to protect himself? We already talked about using thistle. There's all kinds of ways that you can use thistle to protect yourself. It's funny that I'm doing a reading about thistle on a night that I'm having kind of a mini lisp with because thistle is a very lispy kind of sound. What does he need to do to protect himself? He needs to not fuck around. Knight of Swords. He needs to say what he means and mean what he says. He might need to say and set some really hard boundaries with this ex if he's still in contact with them, if you're listening, that's who's doing this. You're suspecting it. You need to cut cords with this person. You need to cut ties with this person. Maybe you've already cut ties with this person, but you need the help of Archangel Michael or something stronger than you to help you cut cords with this person, okay? Because they did major and serious work here. It isn't somebody just dabbling. They hired a priest, or they are a priest themselves, or priestess, right? And they did some really powerful spell work on you. So I'm just speaking directly to you. Being strong and rising above it and not sinking to a lower nature is going to be partly how you protect yourself, because sinking into that lower nature where you start thinking about revenge, that's part of the spell work. That's keeping you stuck. If you get in the twister of anger at this ex, that's her working, okay? That's part of the spell work. Cutting the cord means stop taking the bait. Stop getting into it with this person. Stop fighting with them. Stop tangling with them or whatever. That's an entrapment. It's part of the spell work to keep you bogged into that useless fighting energy with an ex. Who fucking cares, right? Who gives a fuck about fighting with your ex anymore? It's about not allowing that to keep you held back is part of it. Have the strength to rise above the argument and not take the bait anymore. That's part of breaking the spell work. King of Swords. So, I mean, we have the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and now the King of Swords. You really have to cut cords. I mean, that's being like duplicate emphasis here. Cut cords. Don't do battle, though. Be in a king energy. You may need to be the warrior that cuts the cords, like, fuck you, I'm cutting these fucking cords, right? And then rise into the king status, which is, and I'm not looking back behind me. I'm not going to be turned into a pillar of salt by continuing to fall under this illusion that this person keeps trying to create around me, right? That's what he needs to do. And the moon, you need to work with a cycle of the moon. I would say a full moon to clear away the spell work. You might charge some moon water on the full moon with the intention that it's going to cleanse away any of this entity that they've attached to you. And then take a bath with that moon water in a sacred bath, right? Or just whatever. You don't have to actually bathe. You can do like just yourself with it and a sponge or something, right? And imagine the entity being released from your body. Using moon water or moon magic is going to also help break up the spell work. Stay connected to your heart and your feminine side, meaning your yin energy. It doesn't mean anything. We're just speaking about energy poles. Yeah, and keep an eye out because this person's may not be done. So keep an eye out, stay connected to your heart, use the power of the lunar cycles to clear this spell work away and cut energetic cords with the entity and with this person who is where the source is. It's your ex. So any final words, advice for this masculine before we end this reading? And then I'll just check and see if anyone had a personal question they wanted me to answer. Excuse me, in the chat before we go. But masculine, you'll be fine and wait right back in your full power if you just cut these cords and use a lunar cycle practice, like charging. The way you charge moon water is just put a jar of water, natural water, good quality water, outside. Let it take a moon bath for the night in the light of the full moon. It doesn't matter if it's cloudy. It's okay. And then save that and then take a bath with it, right? To wash this spell work away. That would be a really nice thing to do for yourself. Breathe. Between worlds. So this is final advice for this masculine who's had this spell work done against him. Card 29, breathe. Patience in all things is called for. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course. Meditate and trust. Breathe, repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time to allow the life-giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses, breathe in the sunlight, and release the darkness, and miracles will appear. Don't be in too much of a hurry. The heart needs time to open. Take a breath and let nature and anxiety your attention. The moment won't prove difficult. Your heart knows what the ego often resists learning. Patience pays off in deep and meaningful ways. So patience too is sort of the antithesis of what this kind of trapped toxic energy might create, like impatience, fight off through just meditative breathing and non-attachment, letting go of any battles with this person, right? And then card number 3, between worlds. Between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of recent experiences. In this place between what was and what will be is the state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. Well, that's right where you are, masculine, because that was the Fool card, is what was representing you. So it's good that you don't know. You might have always assumed stuff like this didn't exist. I believed that myself for a lot of years. And so it took me a while to really start to open up to the idea that a curse on someone could actually work and cause harm in someone's life, right? And so I think that's kind of what this is speaking about, is that even though this is new to you, doesn't mean you can't protect yourself. It's okay to open up to these ideas, right? They're as old as time. So it's okay to allow yourself to grow and open up to concepts like this. I keep picking up that this is a masculine, that this is kind of new for him. So that's might be you, okay? You might be watching this and you're like, okay, I'm putting it all together. This is me. These are all the things I've been suspecting, right? These kinds of readings are meant to be that kind of confirmation. What is essential? Hi, Tamsy. Hi, Lynn. I don't know. This is maybe not, I don't know. I'll go ahead and end the live stream. And I'll see you next time.